So you know this thing here, bin time, because we've got new books. I declare this book buying ban well and truly over. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you can probably tell, we have a book haul. Honestly, another unplanned video, but we're happy because this here was a bargain. So what happened was, little backstory. I was in Ormskirk, my university town, and I had a few extra minutes, so I was just like, oh, I'll pop into the works, check out what books they have. No, obviously I'm not buying any because I'm on a book buying ban, but I just wanted to see what they had. And then when I saw the prices and when I saw the books, I was like, okay, screw the book buying ban. So I came out of there with 11 books for £33, which, if you break it down, is £3 per book. And to me, that is just music to my ears. And that is also me just trying to justify this. So I'm sure you want to know what books I actually got, so let me show you. Starting with Reckless by Elsie Silver. So this is the 4th book in the Chestnut Spring series, and it follows Theo, a bull rider, and Winter, a doctor, and their little love story. And I actually got this damaged. See that little bit missing? I did not notice I got the damaged one, but I'm completely happy with it. Like, if I just show it like that, no one can really see it, and if I just put it on the shelf, it's not visible, so we're not going to worry too much about it. But I have actually started this already on the train back, a book way through, and I can't wait to carry on because it's feeling like a 5-star read. And then we also got Hopeless by Elsie Silver, which is the 5th book in the Chestnut Spring series, and it's the last book, I'm pretty sure. It's the latest one out so far. I don't know if there's any more books coming in this series, but it's the last book so far. So this follows Beau, who's a military hero, and who's the girl in this? And the bartender? Not sure who the girl is in this, but Beau is one of the brothers in like the family who we follow in Chestnut Springs. So happy to hear about his story. Again, can't wait to read this, and if I read both of these, then I'll have finished the Chestnut Spring series, which is amazing. It's gonna be like my first ever small town romance novel series finished, which would be great. Also, can I just say, this is so satisfying. Let me get the other book. Right, so these are the books I've already owned in this series, and now that I've got these two, oh my god, it's beautiful. Now I have like a complete series of like a small town romance series. Look at that, it's beautiful. I just love how it just matches and it's just beautiful. So because these two both said 3 for £6, I needed to choose another book to go with these two, and I ended up choosing this book. It's called The Law of Attraction by Laura Carter, and I've never seen this book before anywhere, but from what I gather, it's a rom-com, and I don't know, I love rom-com movies. I feel like in a book, I haven't really read like a book that's like actually rom-com. I mean, I guess Ali Hazelwood books always have like a funny, quirky side to it, but yeah, an actual rom-com book. It says a hotshot lawyer afraid to love and a girl who's new to the city. Then we got some other books that were not in like a deal like those were, but these were just great prices in general. So, right, this book, My Dark Romeo. I saw this on Instagram, like, being posted by like 5 different people. Like, I've just seen them reading it, and I literally have no clue like what it's about. I assume it's like a Romeo and Juliet retelling, but I have no clue. But yeah, I've just seen people reading it and I was like, okay, they seem to love it, so I'm gonna get it. He thinks I'll accept my fate. Well, I plan to rewrite it, and in my story, Juliet doesn't die, but Romeo, he perishes. Girl power! Yeah, from what I gather, this is gonna be a fun read. Right, and then I got Belladonna by Adeline Grace. So this is a fantasy? Is it a fantasy? I'm pretty sure it's a fantasy. And basically, I've seen some people talk about this in the past, not like recently, but in the past. And I always had it like at the back of my mind, like, oh, Belladonna, that's a good book. And I think there's another book out in this series, or is it a duology, trilogy? I'm not really sure, but I know it's a good read and I want to read it. Okay, and then we have a book I actually wanted for a great while. I got Beach Read by Emily Henry for £4. £4. Sorry, poor book. So this is another romance novel, I'm pretty sure. January is a hopeless romantic. Oh, okay, so January is a person, right. January is a hopeless romantic who narrates her life like she's the lead in a blockbuster movie. Gus is a serious literary type who thinks true love is a fairy tale, but January and Gus have more in common than you think. They're both broke, they have crippling writer's block, and they need to write bestsellers before the summer ends. The result? A bet to swap genres and see who gets published first. The risk? In telling each other's stories, their world might be changed entirely. I love books that are about writers or like publishers or people in like the bookish field. I love those so much. And beach read. I want to go on a beach holiday. Yeah, I just want to go on a beach or to a swimming pool and just sit under the sun and read this book. Is that gonna happen this year? I really wish it would, but with my current finances, especially me having spent so much on books already, it's not looking likely, but if it happens, I am definitely reading this book. Okay, and then we have another 5 books that is a very controversial and scary purchase because I basically bought a whole series just in one, and I haven't actually read any of them so far, so I don't know if I like the series or not. I am hoping I will like it because now I've got all the books to read. But here we go. We've got the Shatter Me series. I think this is all the books. Is this all the books? I mean, potentially there might be like 1 or 2 more, but basically this came in a pack and it said £15 for like all the 5 books, and it did say like reduced from like £44.95, but I don't know if that's true. But I know like if I say like go to Waterstones, one book could be like £9, so 9 times 5 would be like £45, and this was 15. And I have been meaning to get into this series because I've heard lots of like good things about it. You know, I literally have no clue what this is even about. I think it's got romance in it, and I think it's got some darkness in it. I don't know if whether that is with the romance or like, yeah, I don't think it's dark romance, but I think there's darkness in it in terms of, I don't know, that's just what I've heard. Is it like a romanticy thing going on? I actually have no clue. You know what? I'm gonna open it and try and read the blurb of the first book because I'm too intrigued. Yeah, so I don't have like a thing to hold it together other than this plastic thing. So once I open this, the books are just gonna, you know, go by themselves. Okay. Oh my god, these are actually beautiful. Look at those covers. Okay, right, first book. Wait, is this the first book? Oh, this is the same as what was on the back of the other book. Strange. A fragile teenage girl is held captive, locked in a cell by the re-establishment, a harsh dictatorship in charge of a crumbling world. But Juliet is no ordinary teenager. One touch from her can kill. The re-establishment wants to use her as a weapon, but Juliet has other plans. After a lifetime without freedom, she's finally discovered the strength to fight back and to find a future with the one person she thought she'd lost forever. Oh, okay, there's a lot of other books, so I don't have the full series. I've got up to like here, I think, and I haven't got these books. Can't wait to get into this. Even if I don't like it, it was worth it for these beautiful covers and just having like these on my shelves. Oh, okay, so that was just a page at the back from the back of the first book. Never mind. I wouldn't have had to open it. But oh, look at this. It's beautiful. Anyway, that is all the books I got. Oh, and I also got this cute bag because I had no other way of carrying my books home. That is it for this video, I think. Okay, fine, it's not. I did order some books on Amazon as well on the train ride back because I was just like, well, the book buying's ban, like, it's been broken now. It's been broken twice because I broke it at Ireland, I broke it now, and now it's just, what's the point of having it anymore? And then I was like, oh well, there's these books on my wish list that I really wanted for a while, and I just really want to own them now, so I just went and bought them. And I spent another £33. So this was all £33, and I spent another £33 on, I think it's 5 books. But that is not a regret whatsoever. Like, I am very happy I got those books, and I can't wait to actually hold them in my hand. They come in tomorrow, I'm pretty sure. It said next day delivery. Fingers crossed. But I think I'll add those at the end of this video. We have the parcel! Oh, but I also have 2 other books to show you. One sec. Right, we have got the parcel, some scissors, and 2 books that I got back in my hometown's asda because I went to asda with my mum, and I literally had on my list 2 things and books, but I didn't want to buy books. I wrote it down to like remind myself to go and check out the book aisle in asda because it's pretty good there. So we walked in with my mum, we walked through like the aisle we were supposed to buy stuff at, got the thing that we were supposed to get, and then book aisle, and straight away I'm like, oh wow. And then my mum goes, oh, you should buy this, and I'm like, you know what, maybe I should. And it was something like 2 for £7, 2 for £6. I'm not even sure of the price. 2 for £9, no idea, but I got 2 books. So I got The Things We Leave Unfinished by Rebecca Yarros. So she is the author who wrote Fourth Wing and Iron Flame, which is some pretty popular fantasy books. But I think she wrote this before those, I think. I'm not sure if that's right. Yeah, this was published in 2022, so I think these came before the fantasy ones, but I'm not sure. All I've heard from this is that it makes people cry. So I want to read it, obviously. If it makes me cry, 5 stars. And then we have The Wake Up Call by Beth O'Leary, and this is a rom-com kind of book, I think. I hope so. And hopefully I'm gonna have fun reading it, and hopefully it's a quick read. It seems like a quick read. And then we have the box that I can't believe I'm actually opening and adding to my shelves today. I actually read on my shelves a bit again and like resorted my books, which I'll show you in a bit. And I made space for what's in this box because obviously I knew it was coming. Oh my god. Right, I want to go in order, but it's not in order, so I'm just gonna take it out as it goes. But basically, it's a series that I've already read, and I've never actually owned like my own personal copy of, and I'm just so freaking happy. It's the acotar books. So we've got, let me get them all out now that I've shown you. Oh my god, they're literally huge. Okay, these are the smaller ones. Right, so there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 books in total. So we have A Court of Thorns and Roses, which is the first book. And then it's A Court of Mist and Fury, second book, which is a bit bigger. And then we have A Court of Wings and Ruin, which is the third book. And this was originally a trilogy, and then Sarah J Maas just kept writing. And then we have A Court of Frost and Starlight, which is, apparently it's not classed as like the fourth book, it's just a little novella to add in there, but I always call it a fourth book. And then we have the one that doesn't fit in my hand anymore, A Court of Silver Flames, which I've actually read this year, and it's huge. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, so I've read these 3 back in like 20 something, 20, I don't even know, 2017, 2018, something along those lines. And then I think this I read in 2019 or 2020 during COVID, I think. When was this even published? Oh, it was published in 2018, but I think I read it during COVID on my phone. These 3, my friend lent me her copy at the time, and this one I read on my phone. And then this one I also read on my phone. I borrowed it from my library, and I knew it was a big book because like I could see it's a lot of pages and it was taking like a while to read. But I just did not expect it to be this big. 749, wow. Nearly 750 pages, this one. That is just, yeah. So yeah, we have got the acotar series. And I am just so happy to add this to my shelves. And I actually want to do a reread of like the whole series. I know it's I've kind of missed that time because everyone was rereading acotar in front of glass before Crescent City 3 came out. And I read A Court of Silver Flames, but I didn't read all the other ones. So I do want to do a reread at some point. There is another acotar book coming out at some point. I don't think we have a date for it yet. So perhaps when we do have a date for it, I'll probably read it before that one comes out. Because A Court of Silver Flames, that's like fresh in my mind. But the rest of it, honestly, I'm a bit like, I don't know most of it. I think the most of what I remember is from A Court of Mist and Fury, the second book, because that was like my favourite one. And that was one I've reread, I think last year. At some point last year, I just started reading it online. And A Court of Thorns and Roses, I know like the basic gist of it, and for A Court of Wings and Ruin, but like the actual little details, I have no clue. Other than what has been mentioned in like other books and what I see on Instagram. Sometimes I'm just like, I see something and I'm like, you know, that doesn't ring a bell. So yeah, I do need to reread these before another book comes out. But yeah, that is where we are. Right, let me add these to my shelves and then I'll show you a bit of what I rearranged and how it looks now, because yeah, we have a lot of books. Also, I'm gonna let you know how many books I actually own right now and how many are unread, because I took time to add all my books one by one to my Storygraph account, and it does like this own shelf and you can narrow it down to unread, and I did that today and I was a bit mind blown. But yeah, let me do that. Right, so here's a quick overview of the books I own. Okay, let's start with here. Oh, actually, some here as well. Okay, so I put my Harry Potter books and my non-fiction and that one Hungarian book down here because yeah, I just didn't have space for them on the shelf, and as much as I love these, they, I don't know, look better here. They stand out more and add a bit of colour and fun to that area. And then we have these books that I still don't have a shelf for, but I will one day. And I actually kind of rainbow organised them a bit, which I'm really loving. So we have my Twilight books and then 50 Shades, and then my little rainbow organised books. That's just black books, cream coloured. And then we have Twisted Love and Twisted Games, which is like in a series together. And then The Housemaid and The Housemaid Secrets, that's together too. Those are together too. And then I've got Magnolia Parks and When I Read Daisy Hades, that's going on the top. And then at the side there, I've just got 3 books that are like, I don't like them, they don't fit anywhere, so they're just kind of hidden away. So these are all books I've read. And then we move on to the shelves. Okay, so overall, this bottom shelf is what I haven't read. And also these books in the middle are what I haven't read. But these books and these books I have read. Okay, so to give a close look, got some Colleen Hoover, Emily Henry, Heartstopper, just to kind of split it up, Ali Hazelwood, Lucy Score, Chestnut Spring series, and then these I haven't read. And then I've got my acotar books and Crescent City books. I'm just missing Throne of Glass and I'm so happy. But that's that would be another 8 books, so that's gonna take a long while to get. And then, wait a minute, I'm just seeing this now. That looks different to the rest of them. That has like a design on the side. Oh. that is annoying me a little bit, but I also love it, so we'll just leave it at that. And then I have my Karen and McManus books, and those look beautiful together too. And then I have my March TBR, what's left of it, and the 2 Christmas books that I'm gonna read at Christmas. Then I've got some like what are these called? Like classics, kind of. And then I've got these are like series that I need to read. So these are all, this is the Shatter Me series. That's like the first book in the series. Those 2 are in the Good Girl Scout to Murder series. That's the second book in the Magnolia Parks universe. Last book in the Chestnut Spring series. And Beach Read is technically not in a series, but I want to put it with the rest of the Emily Henry books. So I'm technically counting it as a series in terms of it being an Emily Henry book. Yeah. And then I've got a few fantasy books. And then I've got a huge stack of romance. Freed could go there because that's like part of a series, but we're not doing that because it doesn't fit over there. And then I've got some more fantasy, some historical fiction, fantasy. And then that's dystopian, that's crime. And this is all thriller. So yeah, that's it. Doesn't it look beautiful? Okay, I think that's all for this video. I actually thought this was gonna be a short one, and I think it is a short one, but at the same time, I do just keep rambling on. So yeah, hope you enjoyed. Give it a like if you did, subscribe, comment down below what you want to see more of, and see you next time.